What's up, everybody? Weston here, again, back with another one of our color combinations. Before I begin, let me know if you want me to do the wedges when we get to those, like Naya, Esper, Temur, and things like that. Just let me know if you want this series to keep going once I get done with the guilds. So, though, without further ado, let me also know what cards in Orzhov are your favorite to play in every commander deck. Now, let me get straight into it. So these are, of course, my top 5 Orzhov decks to go into any commander deck. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I love Orzhov, specifically how it relates to Esper. I have a few regular Orzhov decks, but I have a lot of Esper decks. A lot. And most of these fit into both of them. So, let's start us out with Drana and Linvala. So, I like Linvala, Keeper of Silence, as a card, and I like Drana as a card. And what better way to have them than have them both be together? So, it's a 3/4 for one generic, double white and black. Double white can get a little risky if you're going 3 colors, but, you know, if you're building your mana base well, shouldn't be too much of an issue. We have Flying, Vigilance, and activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. I absolutely love abilities like this. I love turning off my opponent's abilities while I advance my game plan. Yes, lots of people get upset at you turning off their abilities, but it's a creature, friends. It dies to not Doomblade, but, you know, swords and any other number of effects. And then Drana in Linvala has activated all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. So if your opponents have some pretty nutty activated abilities on their side of the battlefield, Drana and Linvala are going to get there. It's really funny. Somebody played a VV, and then it got locked down. Somebody put one of the enchantments on there where it couldn't activate its abilities, and I played Drana and Linvala and pumped her, and I had a magical Christmas land full of mana. Yes, it's red and blue mana, but it was still able to help me cast some of my stuff from my Lysa deck, which is like my Angels themed deck, my Black White Angels, and my goodness, is this card just so fun. And as this card continues to get stronger and stronger and better, the more magic sets that come out, because Wizards, obviously, there's always going to be power creep in any game. A game cannot exist without power creep. I would challenge anybody to tell me a game that doesn't have power creep, but there are always going to be more and more busted activated abilities, and Drana and Linvala are going to be here to gain you a whole bunch of value town for those abilities. But that's them. Add them into the decks. I promise you, you will have a fun time, and at very worst, it's going to be a lightning rod to protect some of your other stuff. Up next, we have Athreos, Shroud Veiled. And yes, he is a 6-drop, but he is a 4/7. He's indestructible. But as long as your devotion to white and black is less than 7, he's not a creature. So otherwise, he's just a, indestructible enchantment. And at the beginning of your end step, put a coin counter on another target creature. And whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Athreos, I have found, is both very good as my own reanimator, and then also a very good theft effect, because it does state that coin counter can go on any creature, not just your own, but any creature, and then when they're exiled or put into a graveyard, they come back onto the battlefield under your control. I have used Athreos to steal a whole bunch of people's things. I have used Athreos to bring back my stuff, and I even used to run it in an old, move counters around deck that I used to have, where I would proliferate and then shift those counters around, and oh boy, howdy, was it fun indeed. With it being a 6-drop, I would say the best home for this is probably like mid to low bracket 3, and then obviously bracket 2. But slam this thing in any theft deck or deck where you want some reanimator style stuff with ETB effects, and then run it with some removal. Very good, very, very fun card, very flavorful card, honestly, overall. Next up, we have Barren Steppes Siege. This is a newer card, and I've been throwing this into everything that I can. It is an enchantment for 2 generic, a white and a black, and says, as this enchantment enters, choose Abzan or Mardu. And if you choose Abzan, at the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So like a Cathar's Crusade style effect there. And then Mardu is at the beginning of your end step. If a creature died under your control this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. So this card gives you 2 strategies in one. I am a firm stacks and tax enjoyer, and so I pick Mardu a lot in decks, in my control decks, like my Esper control, my Orzhov control decks. But it also is able to be a very strong go wide or go tall deck, because Abzan there just pumps all of your people. Like if you're running tokens, you're going to have a whole bunch of very fast growing threats. People are going to have enchantment removal for this card, and a lot of people still to this day don't run a lot of interaction for enchantments. But you've got it. You just have to, friends. Otherwise, this thing will get out of control. Every time that this has hit the battlefield for me, people have either been forced to have to like wrath my board to slow down my creature game plan, or have had to find ways and waste a tutor on enchantment removal to get rid of the Mardu aspect of it, because I would run it in decks where I would sacrifice tokens and things like that. Aristocrat strategies. But yeah. Baron Step Siege, try it out. It's pretty good. You will not be disappointed in this card. Next, this one really doesn't need to be hyped up all that much because everybody knows this card is really strong. We have Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff. He's a 2/1 for Orzhov and has, whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, you lose a life and you create a treasure token. This may as well just say, whenever a player takes their turn, create a treasure token. Because 1 life is really not all that big of a resource to lose, especially in Orzhov, where you're probably going to be gaining life one way or another. And people just always play 2 spells in a turn in Commander usually, unless you're at very low bracket Battle Cruiser, and then he's a little bit lower value. This card is so good that it sees CDH play, and I play it most often in my Bracket 3 and Bracket 4 decks. Bracket 2, like I said, it sees a little bit less power because a lot more Bracket 2 decks play 1 spell per turn. But in the late game, it does scale, because in the late game, people do play more than just 1 spell per turn, usually. But he is very generically good. Adding treasures, anything that gets you more mana and more resources is just fantastic. And for the value of 2, very strong. He does die to Orcish Bowmasters, but everything dies to Orcish Bowmasters these days. But yeah, Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff, give him a shot. He's very strong. I have 1 billion of these because I opened up so much Lord of the Rings. And so he goes into every deck that I can fit him in. And then we have Kambal, Profiteering Mare. He's a 2/4 for 1 generic, 1 black and 1 white, and says whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under your opponent's control, for each of them, create a tapped token that's a copy of it. This ability triggers only once each turn. And then whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and gains 1 life. This card is, again, very generically strong. I have found in Modern Commander, there are extremely few decks that I encounter that don't make some form of token. And yeah, it just gets you that generic value. If somebody's playing Urbrass Forge, you get an Urbrass Forge token and ping somebody. Somebody's making elf tokens, goblin tokens, artifact tokens, treasures. It does say tokens, so treasure, food, and clue, and map, and all of those things count as well. This card is so good. There's never going to be an instance against a deck where this is a dead card. People are always making some form of token, and so let you make some token too. And then, his ability of pinging people and gaining you life whenever you create a token is very strong, because not only will that happen on your opponent's turns when they make their tokens, but also if you start generating, if you are making a token strategy as well, you are going to be pinging people left, right, and center. But yeah, those are my Orzhov cards that I jam into every Commander deck. Again, let me know in the comments down below, what are your favorite Orzhov cards that you put into every single deck that runs those colors? I love hearing from all of you about which ones are best. But as always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I'll be back tomorrow with one of the remaining guilds. Have a great day.